Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Clone Base Mock series. So you guys really like this series and I would like to say thank you so much for all the recent support on it. And we actually have done now 2 episodes in 1 week. This is the second one. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's kind of a small treat because this is kind of like part 2. So make sure you go check out episode 9 because that was part 1. But you don't really, it's not really relevant to this week's episode. However, what is relevant is actually episode 8, where I did start the buildings, which I continued and completed this week. So yeah, make sure you go check out episode 8. All of the episodes of the Clone Base series can be found in the Clone Base 2.0 playlist on my channel. So make sure to go check that out. And yeah. And before the video starts, do make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It's just 3 simple clicks of a button, and it all helps me out so much. You guys have no idea, and it's just so quick. Just make that notification bell blue, make that subscribe button gray, and make that like button blue or white, depending on what device you're on. So yeah. Today we have some pretty cool updates. We have completed the prison pretty much, and we have completed the first floor of the medical facility, and we have we're pretty much almost finished with the training area. So let's get into all of that and more on this episode of the Clone Base Mock. Alright, so I actually did start a third base plate 1 week ago, or I'm not sure how long ago, but 2 episodes ago, and I am going to be moving it out of this area just because I don't want this bad lighting. I'm going to move it more into the light because the great thing about this mock, it's a pretty big mock, but it is actually modular, meaning I can just take the base plates apart, but they all do go together, but it's just a convenient way of transportation. So yeah, here's kind of a small overview. I'll get more in depth in a second, but yeah, let's move this down to a good light space. Alright, so here's essentially the main overview. So I'll just quickly go over everything broadly, and then I'll go into in-depth details of the design. So first of all, I've pretty much completed the prison besides some plating. I've completed the bottom floor of the med area and started on the second floor, and I have done a bit more walling. I've done some minimal progression with the kind of shooting range area. So yeah. Now, also, I do have a bunch of space here. I'm probably going to have a recreational center and cafeteria taking up all this space. So yeah, I'm probably going to have the recreational area on the left there, and the cafeteria taking up this space here. So yeah. Now, I think as for a fourth base plate, I'll discuss kind of stuff for that at the end of the video, but yeah, let's just start off going right to left, like episode 8. And yeah, again, make sure you go check episode 8 for more in-depth, a more in-depth look at all these buildings, because I'm not going to be going over everything I went over in that video. So first of all, last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess, we did start a prison. Now, I was not sure who this prison was going to hold. However, I decided on Geonosian. You can't see him inside there. That's because I've not put him in yet. He is somewhere up. He's somewhere, and I'll get him and put him in for next week. So, yeah. Now, as for the actual main prison build, I did finish it. It's really basic, and I do have a turret guy on top with a jet trooper. And I don't know where his jetpack went. I'm not going to lie, so I'll have to find that. However, he looks pretty cool, and I am planning to have all of this I want to have all of this with smooth plates, kind of like I started. I just need a 2x1, a 2x1, and a 6x1. So yeah. Now next up, we also have this little area which I added. Now last week I did have these red kind of laser things as a double layer of protection that you can only turn off from the outside. Now the blue up here means it's vacant. Now if they flash red, then that means there's actually somebody in there. So for now they're vacant, but they're still just chilling there because they're stationed there. You can see Dogma down there, and the basic actual physical prison, which is there also, guarded by a 501st trooper. And this is the laser one. And the walls of this thing are, again, tiled off. I'm not going to have a roof here. I don't feel like it really needs one. But yeah, here we have the 2x1s for my last piece order. Kind of having gaps between them. Something I've been incorporating a lot into my builds. Kind of gaps, and it looks pretty cool. First example of when I did this was actually for the main wall. And next was last week when I kind of had this tunnel here with gaps in between it. I just think it's a pretty cool thing to add. And yeah, so overall, I'm really happy with how this prison area turned out. It's pretty small, it doesn't need to be too big, just to hold one maximum security prisoner. So I didn't really add a lot to the med area, but I'll just quickly do an overview. It's not going to be as in-depth But you can see there's kicks shooting a 501st Trooper. There's a weapons rack and helmet rack in there as well. There's a couple Phase 2 Troopers with their helmets on the rack and with their blasters on the rack. There's a Jedi in the med area, and 2 Troopers are like, oh, that's a shame. Rip Bozo. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much all I did here. Now, one thing, I actually really like the size of this thing. You can see there's windows there, which looks nice. And yeah, I really like the way I did the entrance as well. Now, what I need to do is put a small 2x1 plate on each side. You could see here and here it's kind of missing one. There's kind of like gaps, if you want to call them that. But yeah, so that'll kind of complete it. You can see I did do this thing here where it's like one of these pieces and then 1x1s, then one of these pieces. So that's nice. Did that on both sides if you really want to see there. But yeah. And on this side, I actually did incorporate a play feature, which I'll kind of turn this for you guys to get a better angle. Sorry for the shaky camera, and also the shadows here are not ideal, just kind of what happens with a big building. So yeah, so one thing I actually incorporated is an elevator, because I didn't want to have some place where like in the building where like stairs, that would have taken up too much space. So I kind of have like this outside elevator for like just patients who need rest. And yeah, so one thing that's kind of strange is that I actually have more beds here and in the medical area than actual beds in the barracks. So in the 2 barracks buildings, I have like 3 beds each, so that is what it is, but that's just like, it's really more of an exterior clone base. Like you could say, oh, those buildings look nice, and not really like looking at interior. I did add an interior for it, but it's not really much. Now, all 3 of these buildings, or at least these 2, have pretty important interiors, of course, but they're not much with the prison, but these 2 definitely. And I like to keep it open with like windows and a really large entrance for that. Anyway, like I was saying, for the elevator, you could see this is not working out well, but if you like, it's hard to kind of show you guys because it kind of gets jammed a bit, but essentially you could move this thing up and it could clip on, and yeah, there you go, you can kind of get up from there. So I think what I'm actually going to do is going to add like some steps here and like a plate. So yeah, let's do that. So yeah, that's a bit of a crude design I did there, but I did this in like 30 seconds. Definitely will improve it, hopefully played it out. I actually did, speaking of which, make a pick-a-brick order, which I thought I'll mention. Now this pick-a-brick order is mainly for plates, not for bricks, because I did get all the bricks I need in last week's haul. So yeah. Anyway, moving back here, you can see I did start layouting the beds, and they look pretty nice. There's not really much I could do to improve them. Now, this is the design I'm going to have for all of them. Again, I am going to have plates, and yeah, you can see the red's going to be the pillows, and the gray is going to be the basic sheets, and it uses a 1x2, 2x2, and 2x2 maroon. The other 2 are light gray, obviously, as shown, and the rest is just kind of dark gray, which is basic, but it gets the point across. Now, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this, to be honest, because I haven't really decided what planet this is on. Doesn't really matter, of course. It's just, we can say it's on an axis, I guess, or an axis has a pretty distinct base, and I can't really base it off that because there are, like, distinct buildings and the whole design and multiple mocks that have been really good on it. But I'm not really sure. I think I'll just have to close it off, to be honest, because there's not really much I could do, like, display-wise here. So I think what I'll have is just windows going all around, and maybe I'll have just this one side open. I think that's a fair plan. So yeah. Anyway, I'm really happy about how the med bay turned out. It looks really good. Now, I think next week I'm definitely going to have to unplay all the screen because it's kind of throwing me off a bit. And it just looks ugly, and it's not supposed to be here. It's just I've been too lazy to unplate it from previous mock that I made like a really while ago. So yeah, now let's move on to the final building, which is incomplete and probably the one I've made least progress on. But this is the training room. So yeah, let's get into it. All right, so I just noticed this has no entrance. So I think what I'm gonna do is just remove these 2 clear things here, and kind of have a nice doorway there. There we go. That was not supposed to come off. So yeah, I think this is gonna be the nice entrance. It's gonna be just a 2x4. Anyway, so I did start this last week, and I did kind of do the basic design here. It is just these kind kind of glass pieces with some glass panes. Now, I did actually run out of glass panes, so I am going to have to make an order of those. I'm going to probably get a lot of them because I do need some for a stand for a ship to be on the base or flying away from the base. It might be my custom Bad Batch shuttle over there from Brick Wizard 59. It might be something else. Make sure to tell me what you guys think it should be. So yeah. Anyway, I definitely have to make an order of those for more buildings, especially for the med bay, this, and stands for, like, flying ships. Anyway, you can see, like, there's not really much that changed on the interior. There's still Apo, hard case, which are the thicky, bricky decals. Very nice. And then there's some droids. This droid got his hand shot off, and he's kind of getting destroyed by hard case. This droid is getting shot by Apo. The rest have the high ground. Yeah, Obi-Wan's not too happy with that. Anyway, so the rest of the building is kind of just dark gray, which looks pretty nice. And yeah, so I think I'm just gonna have windows so you guys can kind of see what's going on. And I don't know if I'm gonna have it with a closed roof or not. I just don't know if it's necessary. I feel like I will, just because that's kind of why I put all the windows there, so you could have some sort of sense of visibility while I'm able to close it off. And yeah, so other than that, there's not really much here. Now here, I did actually make this a 10 by 1, or like these two, like the vertical walls or the horizontal walls, whatever you want to say, they are actually 10 by 1, so I did have to use some of these 2 by 1s instead of 4 by 1s. So yeah, that is what it is. And here you have there's a tan brick, which is an idea. I'll have to remove that and replace it with a normal gray brick because kind of something that slightly bothers me, but yeah, anyway. So yeah, essentially this week's update is rather small. I didn't really find much to talk about because it's mainly just me completing buildings, so I highly recommend you guys do check out episode 8, and I think that this is actually a better follow-up. I feel like this would be better as episode 9, kind of to watch after episode 8 if you're all binging this, so maybe I'll have them in the order that I see fit, and I'll just rearrange them personally, but I think I'm just gonna, you could just watch them in whatever order. It's not like a story, it doesn't have like a lot of chronological importance, but I still recommend you go check out episode 8 to see kind of a more in-depth look at all of these buildings, especially the med bay, which is kind of the biggest part. And yeah, so I hope you guys did enjoy. I worked really hard on this, so it would really be appreciated if you do drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I am trying to reach 1,250 subscribers before September 24th, so if you could help me reach that goal, it would be epic, especially since September 24th is my birthday, and it'll be a great birthday present from you guys to me. So yeah, anyway, I'm out of here. Hit the bell not to miss another one of these. Another one should be coming next week, as I do have all these bricks left, and I know it's used not to build. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. I'm out of here. See you guys next time.